welcome back to Kickin' and Stream, and it's me, Tammy, and I'm back with my continuing Sundance 2020 Film Festival coverage. So, the film I'm covering right now, the film I'm reviewing right now is called Shirley by filmmaker Josephine Decker. Now, I am really excited to review this film. It actually was really intriguing. It was about horror author of the 20th century, Shirley Jackson, whose most famous short story is The Lottery, which I'm sure every kid in elementary school read at some point. But, it stars Elizabeth Moss of Mad Men and Handmaid's Tale, Michael Stuhlbarg, Odessa Young, Logan Lerman. But the thing I'm really excited about is that Josephine Decker. Now, I actually know her. She was one of the film advisors at my film school. She was not one of my advisors in the sense that I didn't get to actually go and work with her for a semester. But I got to go to her lectures. I got to talk to her, and have really great conversations with her one-on-one. And I really find her directing style very intriguing. And her previous film that was on Sundance that I got to see was called Madeline's Madeline, which was from 2018, I believe. Yes, that sounds right, 2018. And a very intriguing story. Now, she has a very distinctive style as a director. She uses very interesting camera angles, sometimes things slightly out of focus to kind of create that illusion of things being not quite right. And she definitely used that to great effect in Shirley. Now, this film, again, is about Shirley Jackson, but it is not a factual autobiographical film representation. It is actually based off of a novel by Susan Scarf Merrill. And so which had a fictional representation of Shirley and her husband, and then a fictional couple that were a young couple that were staying with them in the story, as well as a girl who had disappeared. So that was kind of the fictionalized version of Shirley Jackson's life. Now, after the film, of course, you want to kind of go Google things because you're like, wow, is this real? What did I just watch? And I saw pictures of Shirley Jackson, and holy cow, Elizabeth Moss is freaking like a chameleon. She totally was able to capture Shirley Jackson's physical mannerisms amazingly well. And it was just a really intriguing story. Now, the story takes place in the 1960s, where Shirley was living with her husband in Vermont, and he was a professor at a small college there, and, watching how she reacted to, he was definitely a womanizer, and but he loved his wife, and so it was a really interesting dynamic. Now, I am talking about the relationship between Shirley and her husband in this film representation, not the real relationship between Shirley and her husband, because I don't know enough about that to make a comment about. But in the film, I definitely got the feeling that Shirley, her character, was dealing with some mental illness. And looking online, I did find out that she suffered from agoraphobia. She had a hard time leaving her house. I would, in the film, definitely got that, but I also got a feeling of depression, not full on bipolar, but her husband said she had episodes, which could mean a whole host of things. But Elizabeth Moss is a fantastic actress and really captured that paranoia and the mental illness, whatever they chose to present, very well. And then it was about the relationship that she had with this young couple, in particular the young mom. Now, it was kind of, the couple, he had come to Vermont as like a teaching assistant, and they were going to, they stayed with the Jacksons to, the goal was to just stay with them for a week or two as they found a place to live. But the housekeeper just quit, and the husband kind of was like, here, you stay with us, room and board will cover, you just help my wife, which was not what the wife had intended to want to do. She had wanted to come and take classes and learn and do all of those things, but she was also pregnant, and so there was kind of this implied, that it was a shotgun wedding, and things were, not quite great with her husband and his family, and so it was really intriguing, these relationships, but it was definitely Shirley and Odessa's character, Rose, and how their relationship, how she started to not want to be this, to be this woman's nurse, but really found herself quite protective of her, and the relationship became very close in this story. Some other things that Josephine does as a director is, aside from the interesting camera angles, and you can definitely see that, but there's also Josephine's not afraid to linger and let the actors act just with their face, and these close-ups that were really, sometimes we are like, oh, that's too long, because we were like, what's the word I'm looking for? Society is like dictates, oh, we can't look too long. Oh, we're, being voyeuristic, but that's kind of how she uses the lenses of the cameras, very voyeuristic, and we get to see things that we sometimes miss in society, and I really, really appreciate that. I do have a couple of critiques. Sometimes it was really dark, so it was hard to kind of see, and it was hard to say, was that like a creative choice, where we couldn't, the definition on the characters we kind of lost. But then it was, there was lots of lights and lots of darks, so it wasn't just this flat color where we didn't see anything. There was definitely darks and lights, and but sometimes it was almost too dark. And again, I'm not sure if that was necessarily the projector in the theater that we were in, or if it was the print or what, but that was the biggest critique that I had. But I really actually quite enjoyed it. It was very exciting to see, again, because I do know Josephine, and I think she's a really super talented filmmaker. And it's cool to see the different things that she does and the different stories that she tells. And there's other of her films that I want to go watch that I've missed, but she allows her actors to be vulnerable, and that's really compelling to watch as a viewer, because sometimes, when we're watching, Marvel films or DC films or whatever, sometimes we're not allowed to watch them. And believe me, I love the, Marvel films. Y'all know this. Anyway, but I'm really excited. I hope that everyone gets a chance to watch this. I believe that it is getting picked up and getting a limited theatrical release. I'll leave the details for sure. And again, I hope that whatever you're watching, whether from the comfort of your own couch or the beauty and gloriousness that is the movie theater, that you're enjoying what it is you're watching. And I will see you guys again here soon. Bye!